So let me get this straight. We can't afford rent because rent prices are increasing so much to push us out to buy homes. But the interest rate is so high, you can't buy a home. And also you're not going to get funded for a home because of your debt to income ratio. So then what? And then homelessness or houselessness is becoming criminalized. So then what? I don't understand. To be honest, I really like the idea of building a commune, aside from like the culty aspect of it, but essentially buying land, driving vans, building a tiny houses on it, and everyone shares.
Hey everybody, my name is Tyler, and because of the out of control inflation that we're having in our country right now and rent prices being over $1,500 a month, I have been outpriced of the rental market, and I live here in my car full time, and I wanted to give you a brief tour. So starting with the bed here, it is a 3-inch memory foam mattress topper. Super comfortable. I have about 4 layers of blankets, which keeps me warm, especially right now we've got 20-degree weather at night, so it's pretty cold. Moving over here, I have my cooler. I've had a few people tell me I'm not supposed to have this cooler because I live in my car, but it actually was a birthday gift last year for my 30th birthday, and I just can't part with it. I absolutely love it. Keeps all my food cold and fresh for days. I absolutely just adore this cooler, so I'm not going to get rid of it. And in the back there, you can see I have 2 really comfortable pillows.
Do you realize that it costs money to exist anywhere in the United States? There's almost nowhere you can just exist. You gotta pay money. It's either you're renting or you're paying for a mortgage. If you're gonna go anywhere, it's usually you have to drive or take public transportation. That costs money while you're on the way to the place you're gonna go, which you're gonna spend money at that place. Usually it's gonna be a grocery store, it's gonna be the gas station, or you're going to work, trying to make money so you can spend the money. But living in an RV or a van in the United States more massively opens up your eyes to the fact that you can't just exist anywhere without paying for it. I'm in a public park right now. Thank God for those, because otherwise it would just be parking lots. And I've even been eyeballed in parking lots just sitting there, or asked to move, because you're not going in and patronizing. So you can only be in that parking lot as long as you're going to be spending money on the businesses that are there. Okay, well, I can stay in this park during the day. I cannot stay overnight. I will have to go somewhere. That would be a campground, which I hate. I don't do campgrounds. I know there's other ways. I know there's Walmart, there's Cracker Barrel, there's Hip Camp that's still paying. There's Boondockers Welcome. You're still essentially paying.
Yeah, so rent is just getting really, really difficult to afford here in the US. People are having obviously a really hard time with finding a home, purchasing a home even, and just even renting a place. One thing I've seen a lot of people say that they're not willing to live with other people, to have roommates, or to necessarily even live with family. And I think that's something that a lot of people, it might be very helpful to explore. And it doesn't have to be permanent if you don't want it to be that way, but temporarily it can be extremely helpful and beneficial to each other, because whoever's home that you are living in, if you pay a small amount of rent to them, then that's going to be, mutually beneficial.
Now, what I'm about to say may piss a lot of landlords off, but I don't really care at all. But I'm going to read to y'all the qualifications that this person wants for this house. And it ain't an amazing ass house. We're not talking about anything super expensive. The rent, like I said, is $16.95, $40 application fee per adult. They want you to make 3.5 times the rent. Standard for whatever reason is 3 times the rent. When majority of Americans don't even make 3 times a $1,600 a month rent. I don't know where people just get up and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make this a national standard that people have to make 3 times the rent amount. Majority of people can afford 2 times the rent on a specific basic home like this. But this person is going even further. They don't want you to have 3 times the rent. They want you to have 3.5 times the rent. They want the last 2 years of your W-2s, the last 3 months of your check stub, driver's license or ID, social security card. They want you to make 2 months worth of rent as your security deposit before you even move in, and you have to have a credit score of at least a 670. Off the bat, that disqualifies so many people from being able to be in a home that is decent. Let's add that up, why don't we? Off the rip, you have to pay first month's rent, $16.95. You have to pay $40 application fee per adult, and let's just say the standard adult is 2 adults, right? You have to pay, if you have a pet, which majority of people in Houston do have pets, dogs, it's a $250 non-refundable fee per pet. So let's just say you have a pet. We're going to add that up. And then you have to make 2 months of the rent to equal the amount of the security deposit. So that's $16.95 times 2. All right. And on top of that, we're not even talking about your utilities and all the things that you have set up. They want you to have rental insurance before you move in. Standard rental insurance is probably about $25 a month. Let's just say that. Before you can even move into this house, sitting in a savings account somewhere or just idle money, you already got to come off of this amount of money.
I agree. That is a lot of money. And I understand the struggle with trying to find a new place to move into, to rent, and again, to own. You know, there's a whole other array of qualifications and complications that come with that. But this is the reality right now. And housing is so unaffordable and it's going up. So again, just even thinking about maybe finding family to live with or roommates, downsizing, maybe, you know, the home that you are in or the apartment. We've lived in parts of town before that weren't the best parts of town, but we chose to rent there in the beginning of our marriage. And we did that because we were trying to save money. And it wasn't a horrible part of town, but it wasn't the best and it wasn't always the safest. But we did make those decisions because at the end of the day, we felt like, you know, we didn't want to just throw out a lot of money every month renting when we can maybe save a little bit on that end, because it just really adds up. Like she's saying, everything that's involved with that. Then you have the utilities. Then there's everything else with life that you need to pay for. And today, currently, obviously, food is going up. Wages are not increasing. Everything that you do costs so much money. And I've been seeing comments, people say that, you know, it's like when you step outside the door, it's automatically $50 to $100 sometimes that you spend, because usually you're going out to spend money. And it is really expensive. And I don't necessarily see the cost of housing getting any better anytime soon. But what are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Are the rents in your area just ridiculous? Is it really difficult to find a place to live? Or do you live somewhere that you do find it is a little bit more affordable? You have to really start to think about, where are we right now with the cost of everything, the cost of living? Where do I see this going in the future? And where do I see myself, you know, fitting in with all of this? Because if you are struggling now, it likely will not get any easier anytime soon. So what can we start to think about already proactively going forward that might help the situation? So let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear from you. Share any comments that you have, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.